So now I'm going to talk about another topic that's related to supply and demand, and that's shifts to both of the curves, to both the supply curves and the demand curves. Now what this means is that it talks about changes in conditions, changes to the situation that makes the whole curve move. That's different than the move along a curve. Remember, the laws of supply and the laws of demand mean that it's only the price of the product itself that makes you move along the supply curve. Again, the cause is a change in price of the product itself. So if the price goes up of a product I'm making, of a textbook or something, then I'm more likely to sell it. But that's only the price of the product. Again, students look at textbook prices and they'll decide if the price is too high, they might not buy the book. But it's based on their own cost-benefit decision. So what about another change in conditions, something that is not the price of the product itself? Now, I always have this three-question system that I think of. Right? So you can't memorize every single situation. You're never going to memorize all the complements, all the substitutes, every single change to every single good. But if you ask these three questions, you can talk yourself through any shift in any curve. So these are the three. One, is it the price of the product or something else? If it's the price of the product, you move along the curve. If it's something else, you shift the whole curve. Now the second question is, which curve? Well, is it the producers or consumers? Remember, the supply curve is the producer's curve. So if it's something that affects producers but not consumers, it's going to be the supply curve. Consumers will be the demand curve. So if something that makes consumers change their behavior or their opinion of a product, then you would see the demand curve move. So one easy example is, what about umbrellas? If it starts to rain, probably that will affect the purchase of umbrellas. It's not going to change anything that goes into making umbrellas. So you might see prices change. All right. So finally, is it more or less? These curves move one of two directions. You either move right, which is more, because it's away from zero, or left, which is less. So anything that makes a curve more demand, more supply, all else equal, regardless of price, moves the whole curve. Right is more, left is less. And that's true for supply. This is less supply, and this is more supply. So think about that. You can talk yourself through any situation. So first of all, think about what we're looking at. Now, the point of this whole exercise is to see what happens to P and Q. You can use this to predict changes in price of a product and quantity of sales. That's extremely important for business or for buyers. So if you knew when gasoline was in the most demand, you would buy gas when it was cheapest. So you could go to a different state, wait for a certain time of week, etc. So you can actually predict changes based on demand. And so if you said, what about gasoline demand? You'd say, something might change it. So a lot of times Labor Day weekend, holiday seasons mean that consumers buy more gas. You would draw that as a shift in demand. Now this is where we get our solution from. Here is the answer. P goes up from this equilibrium point A to this equilibrium point B. Now we can see that this is a higher price, and this is a higher quantity. And so that is what we use this for. If you can say that high travel seasons makes the price of gas go up because of increased demand, you are correct. It also means that you can change your behavior. A gas company could do something, an oil company, a gas station, or you could choose when to buy gasoline yourself. So predicting changes to P and Q are the end result. The shifting of the graphs is the tool to get us there, but changes in P and Q are the entire goal. So we move the right curve, get a new equilibrium point, notice that quantity is now higher at the new equilibrium, and the price is now higher. So that's just one of many situations. So if you can talk yourself through this, then you can talk yourself through any situation. Now, what can change demand? And again, it could be more or less. The big one for macroeconomics is income. We'll see this later. It's called gross domestic product. But if the whole economy is doing well, if people have more money to spend, they're going to buy more of whatever product we're talking about. That is not the same as a change in the price of the product. People will buy more if it's cheaper, more if it's more expensive. So if people buy more, every single point moves in this direction, and we connect the dots, and we have higher demand. So higher income means more demand. Lower income means less demand. So when the economy hit recession in 2008, a lot of businesses had trouble because they didn't have customers coming in the door. Now, this one is something you'll see more in a microeconomics class, but it's important to note. Related goods drive the price of this good. So classic example are cereal and milk. The price of milk might affect the sales of cereal. Or you might have Raisin Bran and Cheerios, they're competing goods. If Cheerios go on sale, Raisin Bran sales might go down, right? So a substitute is a product that is used instead of something else. If the price of a substitute goes down, the quantity of this good goes down. So it's important to notice that this is not the price of the good itself, it's the price of something else. The complement is a good that is used together with something. So one complement that I always think of is the price of gasoline and large motor vehicles, SUVs. If price of gasoline goes down, you might see SUV sales go up because gasoline to run them is now cheaper. So think about that goods could be related. Macroeconomics, you can think about labor and capital. You can think about money and bonds and some different things. So, but microeconomics, you might actually calculate these elasticities. But this is not the price of the product, this is the price of something else. Tastes and preferences are non-economic. Things come and go in terms of what's popular and fads. It's a lot of food fashions, a lot of diet things. Clothing comes in and out, music, etc. So this is hard to predict, but if people like your product, for whatever reason, demand might go up. At the same time, you might see demand go down when people stop liking your product. Finally, number of buyers. More people enter the marketplace, more demand, prices go up. Fewer people in the marketplace, you could actually go this direction. You would have a shift downward. And here you would see the price actually drop and quantity go drop. So if people stop buying your product, you would have to have a sale, you would lower your price, and you would sell less. And again, whenever you move the right curve, sometimes it does make sense, and you can kind of use common sense to find out you had the right answer.